Okay, so it's 4. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, even though they're still doing their morning treat. So we'll see if they just go to position after. But anyways, I had this stuff going in my head, so I was like, I gotta hurry. It's like my head starts getting so full and it starts feeling like it's overstuffed. When I got up, I have a horrible fucking headache. Oh my God, my head is killing me. The sneezing and coughing and stuff. Oh yeah, because I do want to say something about the new sickness. So a long time ago, it was one of the times they were doing some MRI on me. I've had so many MRIs, like it's crazy. So many CT scans and stuff for my brain and my neck, and then of my stomach and stuff. So I'm pretty sure it was one. I mean, I can't remember if they were checking lower and then they caught a vision of the upper, or if they were checking something upper and caught a vision of something lower. But I got a call, and it said that my scan had come back that I had nodules in my lungs, and I was already a nurse, and so I knew, that was bad, and so I was crying. I had to go in and get another test, and I was just, my kids were young. My husband was the only partner I had, so it was like, you just accept a part of this life. But anyways, I was super upset, and I thought for sure I've got lung cancer. What the hell? How did I get lung cancer? Because I smoked weed a couple times when I was a kid. Even when I smoked my parents' cigarettes, I didn't know how to inhale. So I was like, I don't even know if I even inhaled weed all the time. Like, I don't know. I wasn't much of a smoker. Hand me a pill, I'll pop that motherfucker in. But, I wasn't a big smoker. And one of the things, too, is I would get sick when I would smoke. And I would cough a lot. And my dad had taken me in to get an x-ray. And the doctor said that I had a nodule on my lung. And that I needed to quit smoking right away. And this was I was 16 years old. And so I stopped. Because I took it serious. So anyways, years and years later, so that was when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, somewhere in there. And then, so now I'm I don't know, 35, 37, something like that. And so I'm thinking, because I can picture the house, I was already a nurse. So I had to be in my 40s. I was probably 45. So this had to be close to the ending of this marriage too, because it ended in this house. It ended once, but then he just always had a hard time letting go. He was sure that he loved me, supposedly, but every time that we would get together, it wasn't the love that I found loving. So wasn't my kind of love. And so anyways, so this test came back, and I had all these nodules, and I had to go in and get a lung examination, x-ray scan, specifically to look at my lungs. So they did, and then they called me, and they told me that a lot of people, we all have these proteins inside of our lungs, and not everybody. Some people have these proteins, and you can find them in their brain, you can find them in their lungs, you can find them in these different places. Well, now we know a little bit more about these things, these proteins that are actually parasites. So anyways, they told me it was totally natural, it was totally normal, I didn't have to worry or anything. And so, and I think later, in one of my brain scans, I had so many brain scans and shit, because they kept trying to prove that I was faking my brain injury. They thought I was faking it, even to the point that they said that I faked it all the way to just go to court, because I thought I was going to win big off the hospital. It was I didn't even get a lawyer for a year and a half. I mean, my dad had to just keep putting pressure on me and putting pressure on me. That's why there's no way I'm ever going to say anybody's all good or all bad. Everybody's a mix. Even people who you think are the worst people, they've got good inside of them. Give them the opportunity. But one important thing is you can't carry around your anger and your problems as your badge of honor, where you think everybody needs to bow down to you because you've been through some struggles. It's like everybody's been through struggles, and if you're going to go around in the world acting like you're the only one and everybody owes you something because you've had a hard time, you're going to end up finding your peers in prison or down in the streets on drugs, because it's a dead end. Everybody gets handed situations and things in their life so that they can overcome them, so you can champion yourself, so you can show yourself what you're made of. To get all hung up on poor me, I'm the biggest victim here, nobody cares about me, the world owes me, that's a dead end. That's, you just assume if that's going to be your energy that you're going to put out, you're going to have bad relationships. Even if there's people who want to be consumed by your problems, they enjoy drama, and at some point they're going to feel you're trying to override their dramas. It's just not a positive approach to life. And my guides walked me through so much of that stuff, leaving these things behind, leaving back your struggles. You're not your struggles. You're not the things that have happened to you. You can take those things and turn them into gifts, or you can sit there and, in your own little mud puddle and stomp around and scream and yell because your puddle's muddy. So, anyways, okay, so let me think. So, it's not even, okay, so the sickness. So the sickness is, I guess they're little kids getting the same results is why they don't have symptoms and stuff. They just have, and I didn't have any symptoms. I wasn't coughing or anything like that I can remember. And I don't even know when I had Hep C. So I don't know when I had mono. I do know when I had Epstein-Barr though. And that is when I'm assuming I had it. It was when I was so weak and I couldn't get up. I'd have to sit in the shower, and then I'd have to go to work all day. It was hard. Stella, that's all. Go lay down. I told you I was doing my work. She'll have a fit, because she just wants to eat and eat and eat. There's something going on, man. There's something with the energy. I don't know. It's weird. So, and every fucking thing keeps glitching and breaking and stuff when I try and do it. It's wild, man. And so, here comes the drama queen herself. God, I love that girl so much. Little Jack, he's a hard one. Plus, he came in at an awkward time, but oh God, yesterday he really got me. Oh, I lost my goddamn, I was so mad. Oh, I've spent all this time trying to reinforce the fence. I keep him on his little lead chain thing, whatever those long things are. And then, that's no fun. So then I let him off, and, he's going around the yard. He's doing real good for like a day. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now I could trust him. He can go out, he can play. And then Ms. Drama Queen, she just wanted a friend to go out and bark with her. So the neighbor comes out, Mr. I'll call the police on you. I want to kick your ass, neighbor. He comes out with his dog. Stella always goes wild for his dog. And his dog is super old, and it's real huge like Stella. It's super old. It's like him. Like, I don't know how old he is. He could be younger than me, but he is, like very old manish. And so he came out with his dog, and he was standing over there, and I guess he was waiting for my one neighbor to come out. And so they're down there barking, and this is where, he won't listen when I call his name and stuff. Yesterday I went out and just did training, just calling him his name and telling him to come, and every time give him a treat, tell him how great he was. So we'll see. But when he gets himself so worked up, he just is like, he can't think, he can't hear, it's just like, oh my God, damn, boy. I guess Winston fucking vibes. So then, and it's like, dude, oh my God. I'll make up little songs during the day about, you're about to lose those balls. And then I feel like, oh, that's so mean. I can't just take his balls off. I can't just just form him in case that maybe it would make him calm down. But anyways, I don't know. That's something I gotta figure out for sure. And he's growing so fast. It's like, look, I better hurry and figure it out, because they don't like to do it when they get big. And you know, that's all a big old fucking thing too, because I just heard that it's really bad for dogs in their development to do it before that they've done like before they started puberty. It's like taking out, so it can cause them other problems. I just saw some vets speaking out about that. So anyways, oh my gosh, I got so many things right now. So of course, that guy comes out with his dog. I haven't even seen this neighbor. And he's standing over there, still over there barking. I'm trying to get Jack's attention. Jack loses his mind. I don't even know how he goes through the fence like he does. It's like fucking magic. And suddenly he's on the other side of the fence and running. So as soon as I saw him get on the other side of the fence, I had to come in, get my shoes and my hat, or get shoes. And my coat is fucking frigid out. So I go start walking out there, and I can hear him. He's fucking just on that neighbor who calls the police on me, who called the police when Trixie jumped over the gate. It's like, these people are such... I was like, oh my God. Why? Oh God, I've been cursing them. Like, take me out of this game, please. So, anyways, so then the neighbor comes out, and this is like, where is the awareness of people? I swear to God. His dog has been in my yard for like 3 weeks at least. I don't even know, maybe a month at this point. I don't know. I have no fucking time. It is not just from yesterday. And he's been out here barking at people nonstop. He's gotten out of the yard several times, every time in the same neighbor's yard, where I keep going and reinforcing that fence. I'm gonna have to go and just fucking get a shit ton more rocks and just make a whole nother layer of fence under there. It's like some of them I was thinking, like, I put a board up and kind of block it and just make it fucking, just ghetto it up, man. I was like, do what you gotta do. So anyways, I'll just, monkey, fuck it, whatever. So the neighbors are like, oh, is this your dog? Well, nobody knows where this dog came from. Because I'm standing out there, hey, would you? Because the dog, Jack's, now that he's out, now Jack's scared of him, and he's running over to the fence, but he's in a panic, and he's running over here and just barking his head off at the guy. It's like, dude, you're in his fucking yard now, you little jackass. So I was like, I kept trying to tell him he was scared, but then he got some treats, and he was trying to get him, and got Jack to come up, and he's like, oh, he's so sweet, and he's petting him, and he's sitting there eating treats. So I was like, oh, yeah, real sweet. And he's like, this is your dog? And I said, yeah, Stella needed a friend, so call this guy, rescue this guy. Even though it's not like I didn't go down to the rescue place. I mean, that was where he was headed. That was his next stop. If I didn't take him, they were headed that way. So then I can see why. I mean, he's very challenging. But I still, it's like, fuck, if I would have just got him when he was 8 weeks old, when you can just start the training right off the bat. When you're trying to break all these bad habits, it's just harder. So it's just challenging, man. I swear to God. And one thing I just definitely noticed, because this pops into my head all the time, because I had an altercation, not a real altercation, but an interaction with a neighbor. And his dog was running down the road, and then I told him he had to get it, and then he was like, I wish it would just kept going. I wish it would just be. And I was like, I feel like I judged him for that. Like, oh my God, he's just not that nice. It's like, now I know why. Yeah, I had the perfect dog, so of course I can go around being like, oh my God, people are so mean. Now I got Mr. Challenge over here. And now it's like, okay, I get it. I had to go through this so that I would see, you can't be judgmental on these people, on the dogs, because I do it all the time on this stuff. When I see this horrible stuff on the dogs, and I'll be super judgmental. Now I've got this one that's so challenging that makes me want to, oh, God, it takes it's like you gotta pull all of your techniques. You gotta do your breathing, but also I'm not somebody who's gonna hide. I've never been somebody who's gonna hide my emotion. That's something that drove people crazy my whole life. And husbands, moms, dads, everybody. It's like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not mad. You got to let that steam out. I'm not going to, I mean, I have slammed some doors, no doubt about it. I'm a door slammer. But, I'm not going to go punching holes in walls and going up and, hitting people or screaming at people, or just some people, I think they hold their tension in all day long, and then anybody who talks at them, they're the ones who get it. I think we're seeing a lot of that out into the world right now. I can't even believe this. Some of the footage I've seen is like, how are they even getting this on? Like, what the fuck? I mean, we're seeing people fucking be murdered. Like, oh my God, I can't even believe the footage I've seen. This guy, I don't know, probably, I'm just guessing. Walmart parking lot, I don't know though. Could have been fucking Neiman Marcus, I don't know. But pretty heavy set guy. He's going up to a car. There's obviously this altercation's already going. There's people going. This guy's running. He runs over and he goes in through the driver's side window, and you can see him just punching. Then this car pulls out, goes, and then starts going and runs over the fucking guy. Everybody's screaming. It's intense, man. It's like, oh my God, I can't even believe some of this shit. And obviously Ireland, I've gone full on in the I don't know if it's civil war, like I don't know what you would call it. It is it's the people against the Muslims, I guess, against, I don't know if they say, hey, what religion are you, or if they just categorize anybody who's darker persuasion that they're on the wrong team. I don't know. I'm sure that there's black people and, well, there wouldn't be Mexican people, but I'm sure there's other people from other places whose parents immigrated there and then they were born there, but they're not natural Irish people. So there could be in different colors and whatnot. So I don't know what about that incident that happened with the guy. And see, these incidences are meant to create this. This is what they want. This is what they want. And at the Macy's Day Parade, I don't think any of those BOMBSs went off, but they had enough going on in the streets. Like, the people got the situation that they wanted. Dude, you're gonna go back into your crate if you don't stop. And but he did go into the crate after his incident. But the guy was trying to hand him over to me because I was like, well, just put him down to go under. And the dog's going crazy. And Stella's right there, just with the loudest fucking bark that you can imagine. She's so fucking loud, I can't even tell you. And so he's trying to hand Jack over to me. And Jack's going crazy. And then I got worried because it looked like, oh my God, his balls are stuck on the fence. And so I'm trying to like lift him at the same time. He tries to lift him at the same time. Jack jumps over my thing and I can't hold him. He goes flying down from my height down to, it's my neighbor. I don't know. He's 6'2" or 6'3", he's real tall. And I'm 5'8" or 5'9" or something. Depends on where you measure me, I guess. So he's handing it down. So it's a big drop. And fucking Jack goes flying down on the ground. It's a soft ground. But, and the guy is a wild man. I mean, he goes jumping up. He'll jump up and you do that and he'll flip back and he runs and like, I was pretty sure he wasn't hurt. And he, just got up and went. But I had to grab him by the, like a mom does to the puppies. Grab him by the back of the neck hair and then walk him in. And he knew right where he's going. He knew he was going to the crate. He was like, oh no. He's like, jailbreak. He's trying so hard not to go in. Like, don't leave the yard. And so he had to go sit in there for a while. And then he has to be out on the thing. But today I'm going to try and, do some funky stuff to the fence. It's like, dude, his concern is to try and get out. And then as soon as he's out, he's like, what am I supposed to do now? Stop going out, dude. Go up and bark at the guy who's going to call the cops on me. Then I kept being like, oh, great. So animal control's probably closed, but I'll expect him tomorrow because I've got the wild, crazy dog who barks and jumps over the fence. Yeah, and your dog, this guy's dog is on a 10-foot lead all day long off of his porch. And this guy's dogs stay in the house, and they're never, I mean, the guy's got a whole yard and doesn't fence it, doesn't do anything. His dogs never go out. They come out to go on a walk, a potty somewhere in someone else's yard. And then, because he gets real mad when people walk by his house and a dog goes potty, because that's where our first fight came, was my daughter was here visiting, and she had a runner, a black lab, and he ran over there and pooped in the guy's yard. The guy, I thought the guy was joking. And he was fucking serious. I was like, what in the wackadoo shit? You're out in the woods? I mean, you got fucking, for sure, cats go bathroom all over our yards all day long. You can smell cat pee. Dude, okay, hold on. He's gonna go back and he's biting me. Okay, time's up with you. Now you go back in here while I'm doing my work. Go in there. Nope, you gotta stay in there. Get your leg in there. Oh, and yesterday in his brand new harness, so he had a brand new, so I had a hold of the harness. I think I had a hold of the harness and that, so I was walking him in. And so I put him into the crate with the harness on. Brand new harness, big mistake. So he just decided to eat it off of him. So I'm trying to salvage it. I was like, that's like $35, dude. I'm like, God damn. And so now he has to be on the little thing if he's on the lead, because that's all he came with that. I had to order the other thing. So anyways, and I got the kind that goes in the front, because it's supposed to be better. That's what Stella has. And then I keep seeing all these ads and stuff, how that's supposed to be better for them following commands and for their health. And okay, so I had another thing flying in with that. Oh yeah, the TikTok shop stuff. Oh my God, the TikTok shop stuff is blowing up. I had no idea because I didn't go on to it. Even if I saw something I was interested in, because I got like the castor oil shampoo bars. But so I'll see something on there, I'll see the ad, but I don't get it off TikTok shop because I don't trust it. And so I'll go look online, and then I'll go look on Amazon. Like, Amazon's as corrupt as motherfucker, is horrible, but you know, they've already got all my information. I've already been hacked by them, and they give me free postage, so I, you know, go order off of them. And so I don't get stuff off, and I don't go and look. And even when I was like, fucking so many, and now this is even more mental, because before it was just all these people who were doing ads for TikTok shop. Now buy this and buy this and buy this, and oh, you gotta have this. Oh, I mean, their whole fucking thing just became a goddamn commercial. Their whole fucking content. It's like, okay, I don't understand people, I swear to God. But this is blowing up in their fucking faces. And I had no idea about how bad it was going to get. Like, when I was talking about it before, like, this is wacky. I hadn't even gone in this fucking arena part of it because I didn't even know this part existed. So apparently, oh, but the other thing too, so now it's not just that. Now there's literal commercials for all of those little special pills, like one after another. It's like, it's just wacky. I just don't even get it. So anyways, so there's this guy I've caught onto who keeps doing all these videos talking to the TikTok shop people, and he's kind of a I like just saying flamer, because but if you don't know what a flamer is back in the day, the gay guys who were more, you know, flamboyant and out there, they were just called flamers. And it just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. They're just little, you know, they got a flame underneath them. They're just a little spicy. So he's like that. And he, so he was saying that, you know, you guys, so he's talking to these people about how upset they are. So a lot of them, their TikTok shop was just taken. And a lot of them, they've taken their money. They're not giving them their money. And so a lot of them, they closed down their shops. They've taken their money. And there's more things. going, but there is, I guess, apparently, these people, they would go and like print off pictures of Taylor Swift or something and make their own calendar and sell it. And a lot of people were buying these knockoff Chinese products. I guess there's a woman who was selling these knockoff Stanley cups, and she was selling them for $5, but they were all made in China. They're not really Stanley cups. And that and this guy was also making the point, which I know this is true, because when we did our floor at my house that I had with the last husband, that was his house that I ended up losing because of the divorce and stuff, that we were redoing that whole house, and we had redone all the floors. All the floors were the same. And so we were going in, we were going to do another floor upstairs or something. So we went back to get that same wood. And they told us that it had been pulled off the market because it was Chinese made, and that they found out there was all this toxic chemicals and shit in it. It was full of, and Winston had horrible allergies, horrible skin allergies, that we were going to have, they use like formaldehyde or some weird stuff in it, in their product, and it wasn't legal here. And so, they couldn't come over here and make us pull all our floor up, but, we should pull all the floor up and replace it. And, it was not, we'd have to go through a suit to get our money. Like, it was a whole thing. And my husband was not, he wasn't about that. And I don't even know, if I put up much of a fight, or if I was just like, well, if it's deep in there, is it really going to come out? Like, I didn't really realize the significance of all of the chemicals at that point. This was, I was still on, I was still married to him. So, I had already gone through the brain injury, but I was still in the relationship cycles, and still in my health crises and stuff. So I still had a lot of stuff going on then. And those floors could have been adding to it. I'm sure it was a lucky thing that I got out of there. And then the what you call it person, like, how many people have health issues and they don't even realize it's their own homes. And it was a house flipper who got that house and went in, and it was like half done. Like, that's what my husband was trying to start a business doing, and where I got all those fucking big business loans and shit for him. I owed so much money that I had to pay it when we got divorced for his stuff. So so I had all these loans I had to pay of his for this business. And so he was trying to do the house like, really, like a flipper. And so, the house was like, it was so much was already done, so much. So I'm curious of what this guy ended up doing, but I think he lived there for like a year when he did it. But I would like to go in and see, how it ended up being. But anyways, he wouldn't know about those floors, that people would move in. He would have kept those floors. People would have moved in, and then they could be getting sick off those floors. So, but anyway, so I know that that's true when he had said that about that your products have stuff that's not allowed in our country. And so then if you're ending up selling those products, say he said, for instance, if their cup has lead in it, and then over here we're not allowed to sell things with lead in it, and then somebody gets sick from said lead, then you are held responsible. And this was in a show. It was even in a comedy. What was it? I think the guy was something. It seems like it's not Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, though, is also a famous person out of Dazed and Confused. Like, when you see famous people in old movies, it's like, oh, wow, they were in this movie all that time ago. Like, I've seen a bunch of people in old movies. And when you see the movie, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around Renee Zellweger still in the Empire Records. But no matter what, she wasn't in it in my life. And Marianne Williamson wrote Celestine Prophecy, so whatever. So, anyways, God, I just bounce around. So, anyways, okay, let's see where I was. Oh yeah, so anyways, these products. Oh yeah, the movie. It was the the same guy who played Zoolander, I think. But it could have been like Owen Wilson or something. But it's more of like those kinds of people in this movie. And I think he sells something on like QVC or something and gets real rich, and then people start having a problem with it and starts blowing up or something, and so then he gets sued and loses everything. And you know, I mean, it's right there in the movies. But anyways, so these people all just jumped onto TikTok Shop. They all thought like, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to make a lot of money. And this guy points out too, there was a lot of you guys just jumping on. You didn't have any ethics. You didn't care. You just wanted to make money. And now it's blown up in your faces because that's the energy. That is the energy that is out there. And if that was your attitude, then that is the energy that's going to come to you. That is exactly what he's saying. And, this is what I keep trying to point out, but as you see this stuff happening, it makes more sense. And so, you know, like the Walmart lady trying to go and do, you know, be a do-gooder. And it's like, that is not what the universe will bring you. The people that want you to affect, to do something with. You don't go out search. The universe brings to you. And, but sometimes, you know, even when the universe brings something to you, sometimes you gotta make a call. You get my drift. So anyways, then, so you, let me see. So you have these girls now who are outraged and stuff. And guys, like, you guys are in big trouble. Like, some of you are going to jail. There's people who are already getting pulled in. Some of you, like, you have gone over copyright laws. You have sold fraudulent products. You have, you know, all of these things that you guys have done so you could make money and get rich. He says some of these people have sold hundreds of thousands of dollars in TikTok Shop. And you know why TikTok's doing it, because how much money do they get? If these people are getting 100,000, TikTok Shop probably made 500,000. So then so these people, he said, now you have reached a felony level. That's a felony. You guys are facing prison time for this shit. And you guys are all having a big fit about your TikTok Shop. You guys are in trouble. And he keeps trying to get that point across. And it's like, oh my God. Like, I knew that TikTok Shop was going to blow up, but I didn't even know that people were that. You know, I mean, I learned some about that when I did the movie with my brother, because I didn't understand all that stuff. Like, I could have made those same stupid mistakes, but that's why you got to go out and do lots of experiences so you learn and you have more reference and stuff. But, you know, I'm just glad I didn't get caught up into any of that bullshit. But when we were doing the movie and I was doing the clothes, and there was a couple of things we had to get permission about. But I found this really, really cool, like, vintage t-shirt of the Avengers, and or some kind of what is that group called? Seems like it starts with an M. I'm not into all those kinds of things. Marvel. So it was Marvel, a logo, and then this cute old t-shirt. It was really, you know, worn out and stuff, but it was like perfect for the girl to wear. And so, anyways, you know, we sent in all the stuff. He was explaining to me. He was telling me about copyright law and all the stuff, and we had to, you know, do permission. Well, we couldn't get them to give permission. They were total dicks. They wouldn't give permission. So we just did things like block out the t-shirt on part and stuff. So there's little things you can do. You can't just go and use it. But apparently a lot of these people were using other people's images, other people's logos, all sorts of stuff, and then selling fraudulent products. So I guess way beyond what I thought, where there was people who were getting tons of orders, and then they're, you know, getting all these people taking cuts out of their stuff, and that they were going to be losing money. No, this is way beyond that. So it's like wild, just like Ireland. So in Ireland, it is, oh my gosh, there is bad. One footage I had seen that there was a bunch of the immigrants up in a building, and somebody started on fire. There's all these people in the streets, all these Irish people. There's a cop car, and they're just going after that too. Like, I don't think these cops are going to get far with these people. It's like a total mob has happened. People are outraged. They've reached their limit. But that's what they keep trying to do, is push us to our limit. And but that is also a big purge of this dark energy, because you got to look at this on all different levels. You know, everybody wants to get real stuck on the visual, the three-dimensional, the level that we're breaking free from, literally. So that's why, you know, multiple levels, multiple ways to look for it. Look at the situation. It's like every step back, you see something more. That's what you got to remember too. It's like your higher self and the watchers and stuff like that. They aren't bothered about this stuff. It's their step back. They see it in different. When you're caught up and you're in it, you experience it different. That is the incarnation miracle of being able to go in and experience the trauma, not just watch it. You don't learn the same watching as you do experiencing. So that is the incarnation, what it's all about. All these different people saying all different things. I don't know. You know, you got to go out and research into reincarnation, make your own decisions, how you perceive what it all means and how it all works and stuff. You can't just listen to everybody. Like, everybody has, like, I hear so many strange opinions, so many strange things that people say that it's like, I'm not in alignment at all with what they're saying. So, I do get some clips. I just saw a clip of Bashar and stuff. There's people out there that I'll hear them say something and I'll be like, yeah, I get what they're saying, because we're saying something really similar. I even think with Abraham Hicks, I think some of the things that she says that people are just taking them differently, and she may even take them differently than how it's in translation. So that is why it's best if you go out and do your own translations of information. You get in touch with your own guides. You talk to your own team and stuff. But the more that you step back, which is stepping into your role as your own savior, totally. Your yourself, pulling in more to yourself, pulling out. It's like being immersed in an orgy and thinking you're a part of that whole thing until you step out and step out and step out and look and see, and you can see more of what's going on, because you're not a part of all of this clusterfuck, you know. You're only inserted as much as you insert yourself, and you don't have to be inserted. Like, I think it's clear. I think a lot of other people are seeing and talking about it, but these kids who think that they're out there doing something good by doing this big demonstration that they did at the parade, covered in BLOOD. Well, it wasn't real, I'm sure. And laying out all in the streets and stuff, and with their chants and everything. And I'm sure they think that they're bringing a lot of awareness and stuff, but they don't realize, like, you're blocking off bridges, you're causing tension, you're creating. They showed me this morning. It was like they create angles. Like, in the energy of flow, they create angles. And so they take the flow out of the energy and they cause tension. And so they are not in flow. There's a way to flow, and it has, for one thing, allowing everyone their own battles. Like, it just blows my mind how they get so stuck on just this one flag and keep making. It's like, this is a complete all over. Like, it's so bad what is happening in the Congo. It's so bad what is happening in Lahana. It's so bad in all these different places. This cleansing that is happening of the planet, of the people. Like, our awareness, our talking about it. But going out and causing problems for people who aren't involved makes no sense. Like, if you really want to get involved, go over to their place. Go get on their streets. Go fight. Trying to think that you're going to create the industrial complex to listen to you by creating wars and chaos in your own streets. That's what they want, dude. That's what they want. Like, come on. So we play right into their hands. It's like, you got to see you're being used. But that's a part of the teenage arrogance that has to be expelled out, that they have to see. You guys don't know everything. You don't know near as much as you think you know. You just barely even started living, and you've been birthed into a very toxic environment. And so you've got to be working on your cleansing and not digging in, not becoming an immersion. That's like there is not this deep immersion into the problems. You've got to. It's just such a huge transformation. And I think a lot of these teenagers and stuff that are playing these roles, that it is an extension of their parents, because I'm seeing so much of that kind of stuff, of so many of these kids that are out of control, but their parents are just like, I mean, there was a big problem in our whole society where everything turned, just like where, I knew my parents weren't that, bothered with us, when we were kids, but we loved being outside. I mean, we did not want to be inside. And if you were inside, you knew you had to clean and stuff. Your mom would find you something to do. She didn't want you in any more than you wanted to be in. So she did her own thing. And I don't know what she did all day. I mean, maybe she just vacuumed every room, and she wasn't a drinker. And she's way more of like, even me making a joke about jackassery, I'm inappropriate. Well, she's more of a, oh, these virgin ears don't talk like that. But then she'll start cussing up a storm. That's funny. I'm glad once she started doing that, where she started just, and she gets into those like old lady cuss things too, where they just start merging a whole bunch of just words, and the bastard, and all. Cracks me up. But she does do that, but there's a lot of things that are always like, oh no. It's like, oh, you couldn't talk about sex with her or something like that. Oh, that's something that you don't think about. I would, dirty minds think about sex. It's like, so I was raised in this, like, I don't know. It was just two poles, like Mr. Perv and Miss Victoria, and over here it was like, ah. Yeah, so, anyways, but, for all of us who now we're called boomers, is, but we got to have a childhood that was free, man. We got to go outside and just experience life and, create teams. And, we had, we were a neighborhood group. Like we were a group, the neighborhood kids. There was not just one, but we could all merge in. But there would be several different ones. Because there was, what were those boys called? It was like 3 Italian boys, like the Cassinis or something. I can't remember. It was something like that. Which now is just like, I just look at things so different. But, and here's my dad over here. It's like, I think all these neighborhoods have like gangsters in them and shit. But and they had a pool. And so, but as girls, because it was all boys. So I never got invited to the pool to go swimming. My brothers went over there and went swimming all the time. And I'm sure some other boys around the neighborhood. There might have even been some girls, because, my close friend was living like next door to him. We were scattered around like a few block area. And so we'd all go out and meet, and it's just like whatever would be going on. Like I know I wasn't ever going over to their house to go swimming. And, but there was other kids, like we would go, like I sat out there with Jeff Offit. We were whittling away. That's how I almost cut my finger off. Then I was always out riding the bikes with the boys. I was like I don't know, I think I was kind of tomboyish or something. Because I was always out doing that kind of stuff. Like there was houses being built. We go climb around in those. I was always barefoot, and I would always step on nails. I was always, oh my gosh, I stepped in all the ant nests. I stepped on wasps and bees all the time. I was constantly getting hurt. And then we would ride our bikes and go down and towards these electric fences, and you had to try and stop before you hit the fence. I did not like, I've been electrocuted a few times, and I don't like that feeling at all. Even when they tried to make me do this, I don't know. I think they said I had neuropathy or something at one point, and they told me I had to go do this test to see or something. And the test is to sit and do these to electrocute you all over to stimulate your nerves. He did one or two. I was like, hell no, hell to the no. I can't, no way. I can't do this. And they were having a fit. Like, they want their money, boy. You're set up for this test. You're going to get that. And I was like, no, there's no fucking way I can sit here and be electrocuted like that. And so they have the doctor come in and stuff. He was talking to me, and he said that every person who's been electrocuted, he said they're always the ones who can't do it. And so I was like, yeah, there's no fucking way. No fucking way. So I don't know about all that, but yeah, you can't, after being electrocuted, yeah, they can't go in and just do little electrocutions all over you. It's just like you just feel, oh, it's horrible. It's like, hell to the no. That's a big fat no from me. So, oh, when they got mad, I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, there's a lot of things I'd have bent over backwards to please somebody else, but not being that. No, hell no. And so, anyways, okay, now where am I in my storyline? Okay, we got the Irish over here trying to break into the building, started on fire. We got the Muslim people up in the windows. We got the people on the street. We got them going after the cars, the cop cars. We got utter chaos. We got all the teenagers over here, the do-gooders, the SJWs. You know, well, they don't have time to focus on their own problems. I mean, their parents are just assholes anyways. Like, I literally saw this guy. This was blowing my mind. Like, some of these people, like, just blow my mind. Okay, so this guy, I've seen him so many times, and he is, he's got long black hair. He's got big, he's a pretty burly dude. He's got this big black mustache and beard, and I think his hair is really curly or something. I think his hair is big, so I think he pulls that back or something. And, but he's got this, I don't know if you saw him walking and be like a swagger or something. He's got attitude, and he's very, I don't know, kind of condescending arrogance, I would call it. And so I would sometimes I would hear his videos, and I would think, yeah, that makes sense and stuff. But he has very condescending and arrogant, and so this was wild. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But so he's got this attitude of like looking down on people, it feels like, and always being this smug, like kind of talk. But he also has a lot of things that, you know, people need to hear, because I do that too. And it's like, well, people gotta hear it. Like, my guides are very much like, well, sometimes you gotta be the bad guy. And so this guy, yesterday, he was like, so mad. This is so ridiculous. His mom, I can't even remember the whole thing. I won't be able to do it accurately. But it was like his mom wasn't cooking Thanksgiving because the pans are dirty. She won't go in there and clean those pans. She's getting mad. She's telling us that we're supposed to clean the pans. I'm supposed to go in and clean her pans so she can cook. She doesn't even make my brother do anything. She doesn't make him move out. This looks like an adult man. Never in a million fucking years did I think he lived with his mom and his brother. Like, how old is this fella? He looks like he's like 40. I was like, maybe he's 19. I don't know what they've done to these people. But so he's, and there's no way when his brother, it doesn't have to do anything. His brother gets away with anything. He doesn't clean up anything. It sounds like something that I would hear my kids say when they were like 12 or 13. This is just wild. And so, and his mom's refusing to cook Thanksgiving because they won't clean these pans. She'll go in there and she'll stand there and clean those pans, and it's a big show. Like, she's cleaning and stuff. He's like, she expects me to go in there and clean these pans? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not going in and cleaning these fucking pans. I've gone in a couple times during the week, and I'll clean, you know, some stuff here and there, but I'm not going to go in and do all this. Like, icing's not all coming on me. And it was just like, okay, dude, but if you want your Thanksgiving dinner, you got to show your mom some appreciation. Like, you just think like you're like, people don't understand energetic vampires. You want people to give, 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 give. What are you giving back? There has to be balance. And it's like so many people are just here sucking off the teat of the universe. Like, just give me, give me, give me. I need more energy. I'm so empty. Please, everyone give me. And anybody asks anything of them, and oh, God damn it. How dare you? How dare you expect me to clean a pan for me to have Thanksgiving dinner cooked? It's like, it was wacky. And it was like this, I mean, it was to the point where it was like, is this satire? Like, are you for real? I mean, he was for real. It seemed for real. I mean, he's a really good actor. I don't know. I was just like, oh my God, the world is whacked. This is just wacky. And so I gotta think of this because I saw some other wacky stuff. Oh, I had just seen Duran. He was right at a scene, but he didn't know what was going on. But it was definitely on a bridge, one of the intersection bridges in LA. So I was up on a bridge, some kind of huge thing, a huge wreck or something. He kept trying to figure it out. He said, I don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll hear about it later. But he kept thinking it was a car and it gotten in a wreck. But then I thought, okay, so do we have some of those people like that we learned about, I don't know, like what, 20 years ago or something? That I didn't know there was people who did this back. I don't know. I guess I did hear about it during Vietnam. I guess that was crazy. Yeah, because there was women who would be strapped, and they would even have their babies strapped, and then they'd go up. But I don't know if it's the same thing in their culture as it is in this other culture of like, Allah, here I come. Like I'm doing my last good deed. I'm killing all these bad people on my way out. So they go strapped in to situations because they're doing their last good deed to get to heaven or wherever they're going with this guy. I think their guy's Allah. I'm not sure, but I could be getting them all mixed up. But I'm not sure. In Vietnam, when they were doing it, I don't think they were doing it as their last good deed, but it could have been. But they, I think, would have been more of a Buddhist or Hindu. It could be Islam. Like, there's so much of these different, like, it's ridiculous. All they want to do is just hand you a deity and say, hey, this is the guy telling the truth. The rest of them are all crazy. Just so everybody will argue. And then they do it, it's like as if if we were in the United States, it would be as if, which they've tried to, get us paired up against each other for other reasons. They use, the sides of the aisle, hats. They use flags. They use different things to create division. But over there, it was used a lot with religion. In here, like that one guy was saying, like, I mean, I don't know anybody's religion who lives next to me. I don't know where they go to church. Usually, I've been invited to church by people, and usually I'm always, I don't go to church. And there's churches around me, so, I don't know. But like if you're in some other places, you like that one guy was saying, like a Catholic and a Protestant would be fighting over, being Catholic and Protestant. So fight over their fence because, the Catholic is right and the Protestant is right, so they all just get up their own ass over their right about everything because their religion is right and this other person's just an idiot because they're a Protestant, so I'm sure there's still some people who are like that. I'm sure that goes on. That was a thing back in New York a long while ago. And I'll tell you another wacky thing too over Thanksgiving, which I feel like it is such a programmed. I feel like we're running the holiday program right now. People are just mindlessly on the program. I mean, even if they don't have any money, hopefully everybody's not shopping today. Hopefully, really, people are making that impact that supposedly that the corporation was so scared that we were going to do because they depend so much on their fourth quarter that if we boycott, that's going to have such an impact on them. So hopefully people really are sticking to that. But there's a lot of people who aren't awake, who are just, trying to create the perfect Christmas for their kids. And so I have daughters that are, so a lot of people with kids, a lot of people with young families, they're just trying to, make it. They're just trying to survive. They're just trying to do it and trying to, create that perfect family because they're all running programs. So but we're in the holiday program, and you can see just like the whole thing with the food. It's so sad, and people are so programmed into it. It's just automatic response, automatic response, automatic response. Don't need to think. Nobody needs to think. Well, you get a chance to complain because you got to complain about the crowds. So there's no thinking needed. You're just running the program, and so it's been going many years. No problem. Everybody just lines up like the new kids are being programmed presently. So it's just, this program is smooth running. So anyways, but it was wild because, so you have all these people. I was really noticing the program on the food thing, how you just automatically at this time of year, you start craving this certain meal that you've waited all year for this meal, especially coming out of summertime. We've eaten lots of salads and stuff. And it's like, oh, I can't wait for that bread and gravy, stuffing, the green beans and yams and stuff. So you get all thinking about like that. You start running that program. So anyways, I was thinking it's just so wild because I think, nobody's out there celebrating Thanksgiving. They're running a program. They are getting the food that they look forward to. They're having everybody get together because it's running a program. And, this is what the consumer, the corporation wants, is that they let you off work. So they want you to keep on the program because then, they got the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and plus everything's already started Black Friday. I mean, what a scam that was. I mean, they start Black Friday fucking in July. So, Black Friday sale here, Black Friday sale there. So it's just, they use subliminal triggers in people's minds. Oh, it's a Black Friday sale. It's like Black Friday sale, Black Friday sale. Oh, it's got to be a good deal. Go to the Dollar General. So anyways, but I had seen these people. So there's all sorts of emotions, all sorts of things being on TikTok about Thanksgiving. You have the people who are indigenous talking about the slaughter of their tribes and stuff. You have just all different things, a lot of energy coming from a lot of different directions. But I had seen one guy who was doing a video explaining where the holiday really did come from, that it was a pagan holiday. And he went back and was explaining all through the history of it and how it started. And it was a harvest, and it was the god of the harvest. She has a name and stuff. And you have to take from your food and make this big harvest meal to offer to her so that you'll have a good harvest for the next year. And it was, that's what the Thanksgiving was originally, was a pagan ritual for the next year's crops. So giving the gifts to the goddess of, I don't know, Mother Nature or something. She has a name though. It's not Isis or something, I don't remember, but it's one of the gods. And there was all these people who they thought were gods. There was people who were far advanced to them. Somebody could come from the sky, come down and tell them how to do their crops, how if they water them, if they plant these seeds, because this has happened all throughout history. And then they would think, oh, it's a god, we've got to worship her. They were just always primitive thinking. But look around us right now at the primitive thinking. So you can imagine how much more primitive it was. Like, it's wild. So anyways, so he was explaining about that, where it had come from. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And so it's much older than, just because so much of our history has been based on lies. Like, we definitely 100% know that they've slaughtered all these tribes, but I don't think that slaughtering was way, way back. I think the slaughtering was, it's going on right now. Like, they're doing it right in front of us. So there's so much of this stuff that's been going on all through the 1900s. So this isn't old shit. And so But yeah, the slaughter is real, and taking the lands and, isolating them into creating ghettos and isolating them and stuff. And then it's just the story that we were told, how the blue people, this was their, what happened to them, but really they're living high on the hog while they're doing it to the rest of the world. It's like, good cover story, people. So anyways, the okay, hold on, because I've got all that swimming around now. My stomach's just growling like crazy. Okay, so let me think back where I was. Okay, so this other guy, he was really upset that they keep trying to make it about that it is as like people are celebrating a slaughter, and so he was trying to give the history that he knew of the Thanksgiving. And so he said it was a bunch of Dutch people called the Pilgrims who were trying to break free from the, it's this I've seen in a lot of these movies, the Amish and stuff. There was a certain group of people where it was like it was getting too wild and getting too crazy over there, so they wanted to go and be free from religion, tyranny, and they wanted to practice their own and create their own villages and stuff. And I've seen this in some older movies about this Amish communities. There's older one, not, I don't know about these ones presently, but there was ones that were very tight-knit sect. And, a lot of bad stuff is allowed when you get into those groups. And then they form into LDSs and all sorts of shit. So that is all a real thing. But when they came over, though, originally, they wwere trying to get over to a certain place, and they landed on Plymouth Rock. And so I'm pretty sure that was, and so they landed at Plymouth Rock, was way not where they had wanted to be. And so it was a tribe of people who were there. And now I'm trying to think of the numbers he was saying. Surely it wasn't, it had to be like 50 and 40. Surely it wasn't 50,000 and 40,000. No, it had to be like smaller numbers. It had to be like 50 and 40. I don't know. I'd have to go back and listen to his story again. I'm always bad on numbers. But he said that the Indians made a big, I think they were maybe having a celebration or something. Or no, they had a welcoming to these people. They did a welcoming to these people. So they didn't have very much food, but they made this big feast and shared it with these pilgrims so that the pilgrims wouldn't go hungry. So they had this big feast, and that's what they called Thanksgiving. And that's where it came from, this beautiful ceremony of two cultures coming together and eating. That's going to make me cry. So that's what people can't, people could do it. They have such a hard time now. But, and to even sweep away the real meaning of coming together and celebration and thankful and gratitude. And then you have all these people, who want us to all be pulled into what their tribes have gone through, which, yeah, we can all feel the outrage and stuff. Some of us even feel that we were in those experiences when they happened. But it is your history. It is your story. It's your, we all have our own. That's the thing is I heard Bashar say it earlier, we're splitting into all these other realities. But I think it is, I've said this before, and I see it as we were all living in different realities. Everybody was living in different realities, especially when you're just, finding out there was people who had no awareness of what was going on in the Middle East. It's like everybody was living in, this just hit home to me when I was a kid. Like I was having a different experience than little kids in Africa. It was shown to us all the time. The little kids in Africa didn't have me, man. Like I said, I did that Sally Struthers thing. I got the little picture, I wrote the little letters. Like And now to know that it was all, a bunch of fake bullshit. But anyways, but I was aware that there was other kids living different realities. They weren't having my life. They have very different life all over the place. Everybody's living different. And then people just assume that people are all living like them. No, it's very different everywhere. And that is a part of the awakening, is coming into your awareness of where you really are outside of your own little world. It's like I said, it's like stepping back, stepping back, stepping back, seeing bigger, seeing bigger, seeing bigger, more perspective, more perception, more opportunities to see who you are. And so it is, but now it is like becoming aware of this multiple, it's like a multiverse theater, it's what we've been in, and then to see we're coming together as the people now. We've been separated. We've all been separated. We're coming together as a collective, and not everybody will become a part of that collective, because it will only be a certain energy. That energy will become the collective, the energy that I'm, trying to shine a light on. And so there's a lot of different energies. There's a lot of different realities being created. And so I'm of this creating this reality, which I know that I'm not the only one here that there's a lot of us, and we're out like in a grid, those of us who understand about this reality, and we're trying to connect our energies. And I think that's where they get this concept of light workers and stuff. It is like the reality that we came here for, to bring forward. So we came here with this reality is our destiny. This is where I've been headed since I was a little kid. Like, there's lots of people who've been having dreams of like the end. Like, everybody's got their own stuff, but I was being prepared for this my whole life. Like, so anyways, my lips are really dry. When I did that though, I just remember, because there's this black guy, and he is has a channel, and when he's talking, he's always licking his lips, and he has really big lips and tongue, and so he's always licking his lips. But I don't know, it does, I I don't know, like, people who think stuff like that is weird. It's like, have you never seen that before or something? So he was getting ridiculed for that the other day, and somebody was making fun of him and calling him a lip licker or something like that. I was like, God, people are mean. It's like a part of, he can't help that his tongue and lips are bigger. That's his tongue and lips. So that means he's not allowed to, so that's part of his persona. He does that. Like, everybody has their own little persona, when everybody should be allowed to. And so anyways, that just reminded me when I licked my lips, that guy being talked down on for that. It's like, God, some people are just so mean. But I think some of the meanest people are bots. I think they're just instigators. They're out there to make us feel bad about ourselves. Just like, like the guy yesterday who was ridiculing my facial structure in order to make fun of these other people. And where it comes to the point where you feel like you got to go into, I didn't do this, God did this. I didn't do this. I didn't go to no plastic surgeon did, God did. So I didn't go in and get implants. I didn't go in and get the sucked out of my cheeks and whatever else they're doing. I don't know. I think they're making some cut or something. I'm not sure. It does look pretty extreme on some of the people. So anyways, but just like that, people out there making fun of faces like that because, how hideous that they're doing this. It's so ugly. It's like, okay, thanks. That's what you want to hear. So, anyways, let me think for a sec. So the energy. Okay, so the people, who are like me, like the people who have this vision, is the creating of this reality. And so it's creating a collective energy. And so it's all of us coming together. And like the things I've said that we come together on are unity, love, um, but you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. And so you have to, set boundaries for yourself. You have to take care of yourself as your primary. You can't be trying to get other people to like you by giving to other people so that you can try and get people. That's artificial. So you have to, it's a different approach. So you have to just like come at it differently. And it's something you gotta catch yourself on, because I've caught myself several times, like, well, I'm doing this and not being appreciated. And then, nope, reel it in, reel it in. No, it is, I'm doing this because I want to do this. And if I'm doing it for any other reason, then, stop what you're doing. There's no game plan. And this new reality that we're creating, no games. No, I'm none of this. I'm doing this and you owe me because I did this for you. No, don't do anything unless you're doing it for you. And that is a big one. So, and if you catch yourself feeling that way, you've got to do the mind aerobics to get yourself into the place of not being resentful and angry and thinking that someone is making you do something you don't want to do. You got to work that out. And so, man, my throat, I have to keep clearing it. But that is the new sickness. And I think it's in all the thing. There are these, if I were to wager, I would say, like I have been saying, that they were fogging us with everybody all over the place, with some kind of larvae or something. Some kind of larvae has been in our foods and stuff like that. And so, and I think in these things, and so they put this stuff in us, and then they use other toxins and chemicals to feed this thing to get it to grow. And then I think they've even are using frequency to do things because there's something with the GR stuff that with certain frequencies they can make it move and stuff. So there's a lot going on. Like there's a lot of different science experiments going on inside of us with these people, are doing. So but I think it's like that, larvae inside of us growing and then taking home up in different areas inside of us, which they would be tracking all that too. They would 100%, and if we had availability to that, we would find pockets of kidney, pockets of lung, pockets of brain, and it would be due to the environmental toxins. But they've gotten pretty good because of the ownership of food distribution, that they can take something and then spread it far wide without us being able to see clearly, like, oh, there's a pocket here of a certain sickness, because they had so many lawsuits of that. I've met people like that one guy who I had met who grew up on the Spokane River down from the paper mill, and everybody who grew up there ended up with the same kind of cancer. And then they tried to shut down the paper mill, like it was the whole thing. But papers are owned by the richest people because that has been a part of our media information. I mean, they've had way control of it way before TV. Like they were in control of it before that. And the Smithsonian and stuff, these old newspapers, it's all, before that, it was just strong-armed. They'd go into communities to drop a rich person in and then get their strong-arm henchmen out there to control and contain and consume. They'd take the energy out of all these towns. They'd get control of sheriffs and stuff. This has been going on for so fucking long. It's in all the movies. I'm sure that's what that show Yellowstone's about. I'm sure if that shows that kind of stuff, it's because it's all part of the awakening for people to start understanding about the control and how long it's been going. So you can, the more you step back, the more you see. So so anyways, so those of us who are here for this reality, then that we're creating this age of Aquarius. This is being created. And it's hard to understand all of it unless you do keep stepping back and stepping back and stepping back and start understanding yourself as a light being, as a soul. Stop understanding yourself as the person, this character you created, the avatar. Start seeing yourself as who you really are. And so, and there still is, control over our human vessel, over this glove, It's like they're pushing some buttons on it. They're getting our gloves dirty without us having any control, and they're getting it inside the glove, getting some prickles in there and stuff. So, but your body will keep healing it unless it's meant to take you out. If it's meant to take you out, it's going to take you out. Like you can try and save, you can try and do everything possible, and everything that they want you to do is spend money and stuff, because they know that if you're meant to go, you're meant to go. That's their hidden truth. That's the things that they know, the mysticism. That's what I try and get across, that they understand this. They understand the incarnation. They understand the energy. They understand the stuff that people, but people don't even question it. Like, well, I've never even thought about what I'm, never thought, why am I here? Like, they told me it's like, come on. Come on, people. God. So, so anyways, but the people who are here for the creating of this destination is the people. It's not like I'm creating it. It is, and I don't even, I'm not the first thought of it. Even, I mean, Age of Aquarius was talked about back in the 70s. This is a universe creation. It's not something I made up. It is something that was always going to be there. But, gosh, jeez. But I did just drink a big cup of that Mullen tea, and that clears out. Is it the Mullen? I have so many of these. Like my tea or my root powder tea, but I also have a bunch of leaves that I put in a tea bag. I put all the root powders in, and then I swish them around, and then I put my tea thing, I fill it with a bunch of leaves and stuff. So anyways, that's maybe why it's coughing up, because I drank that. And but that's good. Get all the stuff out of the bed. Even if you cough stuff up, unless you choke it up like a fucking cat trying to choke it out of your fucking throat and spit it out somewhere. And then one day I tried to do that too. I did everything. I was like, I gotta see what's coming out of there. And it didn't look like anything, it just looked like snot. But usually it doesn't come up that far. It only comes like right to the top of the esophagus part, because you have the top of the bronchial, because you have like your esophagus goes down and then it splits, and you have the part that goes to your stomach and you have the part that goes to your lungs. So it's down here. So when you cough it up, it's like it goes right to that spot. So then if you swallow, it just goes into your stomach, and then you can hope that the stomach acid is going to do them in. But I think that that's why they're jacking with our GI system so bad, is so that our GI system can't fight it. And so it can go anywhere in there and start growing in wherever it feels comfortable. You can get those parasites anywhere inside of you. And then when you try and filter it out, and get in your kidneys, get in your liver, and get it in your spleen, and get, like, it just can go anywhere. It's just traveling through like Tron inside of you, looking for a home. And so, and they're doing it on purpose. Like, but, you've got to realize your body is fighting these sicknesses on its own. And if you're feeling worn down and tired and stuff, it's not the time to go to them and say, what can I do? What can I do? No, you got to just rest. Listen to your body. Like, my body will tell me if it wants juice. It will start having this craving of like, oh, I need vitamin C. I need vitamin C. Like, I just need some orange juice so bad. Oh my God. Like, I feel like I'm going to die without orange juice or something. And sometimes, like the other day when I was feeling so faint, I made a big pot of beans, And they are such good protein. Like, you could live off beans and rice for, and so, it doesn't know, I felt so much better. And so I always listen to my body, what it tells me to make or to have, and then I'll feel better. But it's not like because I still feel like shit. I feel shitty. And I'm sure I'm fighting off, big things. I mean, when you see that their next sickness, and I've got all these dogs dying from it, and their next sickness, I guess, in Chinese hospitals and stuff, they've already got a lot of deaths. Like, they're moving it over here. It's all a bullshit. We already have this stuff. It's like, one spray and everybody, is dying of cancer. So but they're going to do this as a sickness, or it's because they've already got it set up so that they can come in your house in some states and just take you and lock you up. And somebody else did a video about the housing thing I had talked about, where they had put up all these little tiny houses and called it's not a camp. It's like a rescue place. It's like when things go bad, that they've got all these little places so that we have a place to go, like after Katrina or something. But every single one of them is set up to be gassed. It's creepy. And somebody went through and was showing all that. I was like, oh, see, somebody else saw, and I thought the same thing. Because when I saw how it was with the piping thing outside, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like a little multiple gas chambers or something, like crazy. Like, real easy to just wipe you out. That's why they want you in their captivity, because there's parts they take and they want those parts fresh. So that, they even put that in the movie, we're fresh. We like it fresh. I want it fresh. And that is like, I mean, how many people at this point are depressed calling that 988 number in Canada? Oh, yeah, come down, come down. And then they'll just talk them into getting in the goddamn maid, and just because they want that fresh organ. Like, it's like disgusting. So, anyways, when we're talking about the age of Aquarius, when we're talking about the good things, we're breaking free from all that. But you got to see all that. Oh God, it's horrible. Look at how people turn. Look what happened to people. And just like I was saying, like back when I was a kid, how we had so much fun and we loved being outside, and then it was just like all of a sudden, all these kids. And to me, when I see them, I always think these are kids that are like 10 years younger than me. So I don't see people in my age range talking like this. People who I think that are late 50s or early 60s. I see people who I would say are probably more like mid 40s. Them saying this, that they were just discarded by their parents, that they were forced outside. Nobody was ever looking for them. Nobody cared about them. They were just, hostages to a horrible life, and they're resentful, and they don't get along with their parents. And I'm not saying I get along great with my mom. I mean, I say all the time, we're different poles, totally. And there's things that I just don't. To me, it's like, well, I'm not gonna try and change her, and she's not gonna change me. And that is where we usually just drop the white flag. Is you're not changing me, and I'm not changing you. And but I think that that's how she looks at me. Like, I need a lot of changing. I need to be very different to be acceptable. And so, I'm sorry she can't see me for who I am. But I think there's a lot of people that don't see me for who I am. I think that they're going to see clearer here. I don't know. This message is just coming in too strong. It's just nonstop. I can't even tell you how often I get this message. It's weird. It's like knock, knock, knock on my brain all goddamn night even. It's like, okay, I get it. Okay, I feel prepared. I feel ready. It's like, god damn, I've got all my outfits and stuff. I'm ready. So, anyways, but it seems like in that period of time is when things went down. It went real south. I think that, it's around the time when, the fraud brought out the AIDS and the HI, you know what I'm saying? And so when he introduced that into society, and society went dark, and I could see it coming. I would say it, and people just don't want to hear. They never want to hear anything. They just want to jump on. And but like because I would go to the gay bar and go dancing, it was like sex orgies in the hall, man. You could see that our society was turning a different direction. We were coming from this, like, if you even thought about sex, that you were a fucking criminal. Like I had talked about that movie with Suzanne Plachette that I had seen. That was the programming back then. Like a woman who's going to go out and have sex with a man is going to end up killing her mother. It's like extreme. Like if you have any interest in sex and you're going to cheat on your husband, your mom's going to die, everything. It's like it was very extreme. And then all of a sudden it just flipped and it went the other direction. And people were just like, well, they're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to just have sex with everybody. And nobody even needs to do anything. Just here, come have sex with me. Sex just took off. The corn industry just took off. It was just, and it all went together, and it all went together at the same time when the drugs came in, and the infiltration into the more poor communities. Is, hey, this is a way out. And it just turned our society so dark, and it went so deep into that darkness. Like that darkness that started was like an entry to a cave, and our society went into that cave and followed. I mean, up there, the light holders were these corporate leaders, these instigators, these idols, these people who were taking people purposely down the wrong. But a lot of people, like I think a lot of actors and stuff didn't know. They were caught up in their own inner dialogue, their own inner doubt of themselves, their own ego battles and stuff. So they were all caught up in their own stuff. So they were easy targets. They were easy to use. And then, of course, you take an insecure person, making them to an idol. Then, some of them, I mean, when I see The Rock out there and him still saying stuff, it's like, dude, you got to see. You've already been seen. You've already been seen. We know what you're about. So just, stop it. Just stop now. It's over. Your time's up. So bye, Rock. I guess you shouldn't have sold out your own people. And I don't know when he did it, who knows if it was maybe his own family, because that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with gangsters. So you're signing contracts with gangsters. You are becoming the puppet to people who are gangsters. So, anyways, but you get a big payoff there for a while. Everything's great, and then when they call in the favor, it's like, oh, really? Really? Was that the favor? Really? And some people are just like, oh, wow. And if you don't, I mean, all depending on what, they're using you for. If you don't, they'll just fucking kill your family. They don't give a fuck. It's like, you do what you're told, motherfucker. So, and that's a big energy to break free from. Big energy. And so, but it's all different levels. Like, I think that there's a lot more concerning politicians. I think they were a lot more being, because the MOSSAD was able to figure out, like, well, we got so many pervs over there, we just get them on tape and tell them it's okay. You can do it over here, do it over there, get them on tape. And then we got blackmail because they don't want their people to know. Over there, it's a crime. So we got to change that. Yeah, we'll get some judges in there. We'll change some laws. We'll get some amendments. And we'll use the church because the church is always allowed to 10 years old, marrying material. It's time for her to get ready to have a baby and be a mama. The guy's 50 years old. Oh, that's okay. I just saw a sad video of a girl being sold to. It was like, fuck, I don't know. The guy was 55 to 85 years old. I don't know. He was older. and she was 10, and she was crying. Oh, it was horrible. It's like, fuck. But in poor, poor places, those people get, when they're desperate for money and someone will take your kid and you can't barely feed your kid and they say they'll feed them. It's like, a lot of these people are pushed to do things, but you always got to go internal. Your soul's always going to, but some souls that is what you're supposed to do, because that is the lesson. You're here to learn. You're here to learn about different things. So it's not like you can judge things and say, well, they did the wrong thing. It's like they probably did exactly what they were supposed to do. As that's, a lot of things are being played out, a lot of lessons. The universe, like I've said, wants all knowing. It wants everything. It wants to see it all. And, and some warriors are play it all. I don't know, I'm that kind of warrior. I don't know if I just have so much of the lessons inside of me that it's like never again, never again. Even this like Cygnus thing, I had this dream memory thing. It was after my brain injury, so it was, but it was before I had gone through my dark night. But it was kind of leading up to it or something, because I'm trying to think of the house I was in when I had this dream. But it was horrible. It was so horrible. It was so fucking real. And I know it was real. I know this really happened. I know it wasn't just a dream. But I was with a bunch of other people, and we were walking out into a field, and the soldiers were shooting us. And I got shot a bunch of times, but I didn't die. And then I had to be taken into this room, and it was like I was just laying on this cot in this room being left to die. And it was this really slow, lingering death. It was horrible. And my oldest daughter came in to see me, but she looked like my oldest daughter, so I could recognize her, I think, because I felt like we looked like ourselves. But that wouldn't have been the life. But I was like, so I don't know, I don't know if I was her husband and she was coming to say goodbye. I don't know if I was her sister, but there was some other relation where I saw this really dramatic scene, and my older daughter was there. So it's like, but all my kids, like, I know I've got, really strong past life reference with them, I think we all do. We all have, strong tie. The people who you have the biggest problems with are the people who you have the strongest ties with. And that's why it's important for you to work on your end of the problem, because that's the only end you have control over. So your end is the part you can work on. You can't fix somebody else. You can't make somebody else fix themselves or anything. You can fix your end. So, if you're two ends of the rope and their end stays frayed, you've still got to rebraid your end. And no matter if it looks messy and clumsy, that's the end you have control over. So that's the part where you need to do your work. So anyways, but that was, oh my gosh, that was horrible. And then when they started this sickness thing going, and trying to make people be long-term sick so that they can make money off of us, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want any of that memory, that dream came back so strong in my head, or that memory. And that is where we have these memories inside of us. Like, I know I am not going to kill somebody because I know how horrible it feels to hurt anybody. And I'm positive that I've killed people before. We've all killed people before, and we've all been killed before. We've all had all the things happen. All the things have happened to us all. And so, but I feel like that is an imprint. It's a part of my imprint. It's not something I'm here to learn. I learned it, and so it's a part of me. And that's why, I always thought it was weird how people need the Bible. It's like, what about it's inside of you? What about that? Like, why would it make it? So if the book says, oh, which it does say, go out and kill people who don't agree with you. So that gives them all this judgment and attitude towards everybody who doesn't agree with them. And so that's all on purpose. But anyways, I was always like, it's in your imprint. Everything, all your lessons, everything you know, all your experiences inside of you. You got to get in touch with that side of you, because that is your real self. And so, our real selves are here for this transition, and there's different realities being created, I think, but we're coming together as a collective. And in the book of, I think it's the book of 1, where he talks about the creating of a collective. And this is the harvest. Oh, I saw somebody yesterday sharing a clip of David Wilcock, and something he was saying about the solar flash. So he was talking, and I don't know if it was last weekend, I don't know if it was an old video. Pretty sure it's a recent video because his hairdo. So he was talking about the solar flash. And in this little clip that I saw, he said that it was supposed to happen in 2025. So we're about a year and a half out. He said these solar flashes that keep coming, that they are like the preparation. They are getting us ready. And so that the big one, when it comes, it's going to be big, but we're going to be more ready for it energetically. Because all of these flashes that come in, see, it brings in this energy for people to have to face themselves. But so many people distract themselves from facing themselves. But so the energy comes in to make you face yourself. Then the more people who do it, the more they're healing and growing, and they're doing the work to head towards this age of Aquarius life. Honey, just a minute. It's always around the same time. Just a minute. Let me finish, and then let me finish this. Oh, girl. She's some of her. Oh, God, I love her so much. She's, oh, God, I don't ever want her to die. Oh, I don't ever want her to leave me. God, I love her. She's just, I've never been able to be so in tune with an animal where this is communication and stuff. And she's so much, oh, it's so cute how she'll make different sounds and stuff and try and talk and not just say words or something, but it's more about, and yesterday, oh my God, this was the cutest thing, because I had to be outside with Jack because I'm trying to see where he goes to, so I take him out to go potty, not on the lead. I put him on the lead thing when he just wants to be outside and play, and it's cold and I don't want to go out there. And but when I take him out to go around and see, and we'll walk around, and so he gets super playful, and he constantly is attacking Stella, and but trying to play, not attacking her, but he tries to play, but he's just like, he's wild. And so then she wouldn't play, so he just starts running as fast as he can, going as fast and fast. I was like, geez, I gotta put him in the fucking dog races. This guy could win some money for us. And so he's taking off running. He's dug the whole yard. He's made a big fucking tear up in the yard. And so when he was doing it, I would like jump out like that, and he would go running and running, and he'd run. And so Stella started getting in on it, but she was going up, and she is the queen of the jungle, man. When she goes and she starts doing certain things, I see so many other animals in her, and she has a certain behaviors and stuff. I'm telling you, she's not a dog. She's not like a typical dog. She's nothing dog about her. She is so, I don't know, she's otherworldly to me. But she's the queen of the jungle, in the way that she was doing it and the sounds that she was making and stuff. Oh my gosh, she's just the cutest. I wanted to run in and get my video so I could get it and share it, but I was like, I had to, because as soon as I would make a change like that, then he would have changed, and I had to just enjoy it. It was really fun to watch and to see. And so, he uses all his energy going, and then she just goes up like a, whoa. And she like tries to do these chest bumps and these flip her head real quick, kind of an alligator roll or something. I don't know. She does. It was really cool. But I was like, she's just. So I think dogs, just going into be a dog experience. It's a lot of fun and hyper and excitement and love, just having fun. And, she has that a part of her, but it's just another level. And that was something that they were showing me so much when Trixie was here, because she was just bouncing off the walls all the time. And I would just be like, what in the holy hell? And she was like that too, like a Tigger. She just bounce everywhere. And she was so anxious. And, but they had shown me then, like she's still his guard. She's here to guard and protect me. And that's when she got up too, was when he was running around and I started doing that. She got in between us. She never lets anything, like if she lets somebody get close to me, if she totally trusts them, because she'll stay in between. And she's always like, you want to mess with her, you better get through me. That's just the way she is. And so it was always being shown to me that she's a guard. She's here to protect me. And that, she's my guardian for this period of time. And then they showed me that these other ones, that's a dog. That's a dog experience. And even when Trixie had come before, when her spirit came beforehand, it was like an adult woman. So, I think that there's people who probably are fucking kicking and hitting their dog, and it's really their grandpa. They just don't realize because they don't think about life on that level. They don't think who they're really hurting. They're just irritated. And the grandpa being in the dog body, it would be, would just be loving, just want to love you, just want to love you, don't want you to feel bad. But then, all your relatives and stuff will come in different parts to try and be there and stuff. So anyways, and I think she's here as a protector, because I think that a lot of us who are here for bringing in this energy are protected through this period of time, because we are the light bringers. We are the ones to give direction towards the light, when so many people are focused on the dark, and the dark is being purged out, which is going to leave a lot of people feeling like a cripple. And so they need a new direction, and they need a new focus, because a lot of people are expecting this to be the end, and they're going to be like, now what? Now what are we supposed to do? And there's a lot of us here that are going to be showing the way showers. And it's because it's inside of us. It's in our imprint. It's, it's like I was being prepared for this my whole life. And so it is giving the vision. And it's trippy too, is because I didn't know about this. I think it's the CIA files. They talk about that in the creating of a reality and stuff. And so anyways, there's a lot of us here for creating this Age of Aquarius reality. And I think any of us that you would hear, we would all have a basic philosophy. And because it's a certain energy, and there would be the people who were supposed to be a part of that would have an understanding to certain things. Like, they may not be completely, all the way out into their awareness, but they would still be in alignment with how, the world should be, and how people need to, it's like pull your stuff into you. Don't go out and make the whole world suffer your problems. It's your problems are your problems, and you've got to learn how to deal with your problems. And because we have a whole world of people who are just angry and blaming everybody else for their problems. And it's like, we can't have a world like that. Look at we do have a world like that. And what does it bring us? It brings us chaos, anger, sadness, division, murder. It's dark energy. So we have to pull free out of that dark energy. And so those of us who are here for this energy that we're ushering in is, the focus on healing, because that's the only way out of the darkness, is to let go of the darkness that has a hold of you. You got to pull it off little by little, scrape it. It's like barnacle, file it. Do everything you can to get this dark energy off of you, so that you can find your soul, because your soul isn't dark energy. The dark energy has come and got a hold of your energy because you got too caught up in the game. You forgot who you were. So they got a hold of you and they feed off of you. Confirmation. So, anyways, God, my lips are so chapped too. It's wild. So, anyways, let me think what I was saying. So, those of us who are here for this new age, that we can see it, we can understand what is being done. We're creating a collective, and it isn't, like my creation. It was always written in the stars. It was always going to be created. I'm just one of the cells, the souls that is here to participate in it, in whatever level. We're all at different levels, and so at the level that I'm here to is to stand on my own and wave my flag and be called crazy and be laughed at and called, all sorts of names. And then, but to stand strong, to not be budged by the be like these other trees and plants that they're showing. There's plants that keep getting up and running off. It's the funniest thing, and it's wild. But to be strong and stand in the storm and not let other people push you down and waver you, and there's all sorts of energies. I mean, just like flipping through and then somebody starts dissecting your face on all these people and making fun of it and saying how hideous it is and why in the world would anyone want to try and do that? It's like, oh, boy, they kick you. Always kicking you when you're down. And so, anyways, but that's the kind of stuff where you got to be like, okay, it may take a while. I think it was affecting me for a few hours. I was like, God damn. It's like, geez, you're trying to come into harmony with your own face and trying to accept your own face that you struggled for your whole life with. And then that energy is going to come in and, well, you want to, it's just, this is like a test. But don't always think, that you have to meet every test like, oh, well, I should have not let it bother me at all. No, you got to let it bother you. You got to work through it. You got to allow yourself to feel your feelings. You got to let out the steam. You got to, roll through whatever you're feeling. Don't hide from your feelings. Don't hide from who you are. Be true to yourself and feel your feelings. To sit there and say your feelings don't have validity just makes you have doubts about yourself. How can you think that you are a stable individual if your feelings have no validity? So you have to allow yourself to trust yourself and to believe in yourself. And, and there's nothing wrong with getting mad sometimes. Like, that's a human, normal emotion. That's emotion here for you, but it's here for you to witness yourself too. You have to keep yourself in balance, whatever that balance is. And, everybody has their own things. I mean, there can be somebody who it's perfectly acceptable to them, when they get real mad that they have a broken door out back and they go out and slam it with a hammer 100 times to get out their energy. Like, there's all different ways that people, there's not a right way or a wrong way. It's your way. You're the one who has to get comfortable with that. You're the one who has to overlook people making fun of you and saying, well, you should have done it this way. You should have done it that way. Well, if you did it this way, you would be right. It's like, that's a controlling, judgmental person who says that. There's all different ways. I mean, how can you have this many different souls and think we're all supposed to do it the same way? And why in the holy hell would the universe action be to try and make us do it all the same way? That would make no sense at all. So but the creating of this new reality is the energy. We're the energy. We're the ones who are making it. So it becomes what we are wanting to make it. And what David was saying, there's all these solar flashes coming in, and it's building up that energy and getting everybody to a certain place so that when the big one comes in, that really makes all the change. And that is when we're going to start, the whole world will open up to us, the whole galaxy and stuff. Everything will change. And and then but that goes more into what I was thinking. Like this solar flash, everybody keeps being like this solar flash is about to go down. And yeah, I think the pole shift it's the energetic shift, and everything is shifting. Our stuff in the skies and everything is shifting in our reality. And it's shifting so much it's glitching. And in that Allison Coe video where she talked about that, there was somebody who went into that life as there's like a presenter of the reality. And they said, as this one is shifting away, it is glitching. It is like how we're all seeing and remembering because it's not real. And so there's glitching happening. And then it's like the lights are going to go off and then it's going to come on and we're going to be in a different reality. And so that's what the Allison Coe thing was saying. David Wilcock thing was saying there's going to be all these flashes leading up to the big one, and all this stuff is to create the healing and the process towards enlightenment, lightening your load, letting go of the heaviness, the changing your vibration, letting go of things. And it's wild. I mean, my weight just goes down by itself as I let go of things and stuff. It's wild. I'm telling you, your body represents what you are going through. And it, if you've got a lot of pounds that you're trying to get rid of, the healing will get rid of them. You don't have to work on the pounds. You got to work on the healing, and the healing will let go of the things you're holding on to. And so it just works like that. I mean, there's lots of people who went through all their weight loss and then still sat there at the end and was like, what in the hell am I doing? Like, I don't, everything's the same. I've got the same problems. It's like, yes, you got to deal with the problems. Your weight isn't the issue. It's your problems that are. So anyways, everybody's got to, see it. But this is what I've been witnessing. And so and to me, I have said, I think that there's these shifts. There's these big things that are going to happen. And it's shifting the energy. And that energy shift, when it goes the other way, like everybody all of a sudden sees all the lies. They already know. And it's going to be something because they're going to have to rip some stuff out of people's hands, like money, like jobs, like security. That stuff is going to be ripped out of people's hands. That's what we're in the process of. And that's so that they can let go. So we're in the process of that part of that. And there's going to be a big dramatic one. And this countdown clock is still saying like the 27th. And if they're counting down to the money thing, there's been a whole bunch of stuff leading into this money thing. And there's more crashes going. There's more things going. There's a big thing going on the crypto stuff. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So the money thing is really happening. I can't believe there's still people who are like, oh, the banks always get bailed out. Not this time. Not this time. This is the Jubilee. This is the turning of the energy. This is the golden age. This is when the money goes back to the people. It's a cycle. You got to let go of what you think, of what always was is not what will be. And what always was the past. Now we're moving towards the future. So this is a big change. And it has to do with abundance. And also it has to do with realizing that money isn't the abundance. It's security. It's having your own food, healthy food, having your own home, your own family, having your kids taught what you believe, not what the government believes. So there's a whole bunch more that people are learning through this. And that all has to do with the changing. So that is this energy shifting. And there's certain incidences like the big reveal on medical that is going to cause so much outrage, so much anger. Then it's meant to. It's meant to cause this. It's meant to create this change. And so that is where there's going to be so much anger. There's going to be, like, I swear to God, they're going to blow up some fucking Rite Aids and CVS's and shit, like medical places, hospitals. Like, there will be some fucking violence, no doubt about it. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there would be hospitals that would be held hostage with people. I mean, it's going to be nasty on certain places. It's going to get really violent and really horrible. And it's an energy. It's, these people lied and their family members died and they're going to go for vengeance. And, when you have a soulless world that doesn't understand the universe, that this is all happening for a reason, they'll play their part. They'll create that angle. So, but the angles are what creates the design. It's what creates the whole, because we're creating like a giant mandala or something. Like we're weaving a giant blanket. Like everything is woven in all of our experiences, create the design and stuff. So it needs the angles. Like the world, the energy relies on the angles. So the angles create the shifts. They create change. So, anyways, let me think. So we have, but there's other realities being created at this time. And so, and then there's people who will leave and go back to their home reality, or they'll just go to, home, wherever that is. And they may just go, party off with dead relatives. Like it'll be all different. Everybody will just have different things that they'll do, but there's a lot of realities being created. And so to me, it is the people who are going through this stuff, who do the healing, who become more focused on a certain energy, that is the creation of the age of Aquarius. It is changing priorities, changing lifestyles, changing the way you interact with people, changing behaviors. We're purging out toxic behaviors and toxic ways that we used to live. We're letting go of that stuff. We're doing our part in healing. So to be all the people who are on that end of the rope, the end of the rope where they took whatever problems they had and they just wove it into whatever that they needed it to be. They wove it into a handle. They wove it into something beautiful. They took all the things that went wrong and made it into something beautiful. And then the people who are down there on the frayed end of the rope, who just keep letting it fray, who just let go, who don't know what to do, they won't go into the new reality of, everybody will go to some reality, but the one I'm talking about, the one I'm here to talk about. So it will be a certain group of people that will go into the one I'm talking about. And so, but everybody will have a place to go. It won't be like, nobody has a place to go. Everybody will have a place to go. But so, and then I don't know if that's when the big solar flash happens, that we all just kind of go to our realities. And that's kind of like when the lights go out and come back on and we're in a different kind of reality. And it may not be dramatic. We may not be sitting there, we're in a green forest one day, the lights go out and suddenly everything's pink. It may not be like that. It may come back on and look very similar. It's based on what we want. Apparently, from what that one lady in the Allison Coe thing had said, that we're creating that right now by like going around and like, I love that. I love that. Oh, I love that. And like, I'm sure, because there's so much love on these beautiful skies, even though, they're killing us, that, but all the beautiful colors and stuff. So I'm sure that we're going to have some really beautiful colors and stuff in this new reality. Be like sunset colors and, beautiful and iridescent and shiny. So I'm sure it's going to be magical looking. But it will be like sparkly. We'll just like the lights will go out and we'll come back on and be like, oh my God, everything looks so beautiful. Oh my God, I feel so good. All that energy is just going to be gone. That heaviness, that darkness. And it is, then, that's when the building of the reality will begin, because it's still going to be work. There's still going to be work. We're building a completely new existence. We're taking, it's like always what I see is like this ravaged soil, all this brokenness and dirt. And then out of the dirt comes this beautiful blue flower. And so that is what we are. We're the transition. We're the ones who are here to, to be the blue flower that comes up out of the dirt. All of us in all different areas, in all different communities. There's already people who are getting started. And so it's going to be a blossoming of new life, of new, and it will be an overall common, it's like a common theme or something. It's like kind of like it's been written. They signed the contracts for peace treaties and stuff because it will be peace on earth. So it will be like an overall energy of peacefulness, of, there won't be creepy people. Like that energy will come back eventually, but it's way, way, way far. And it's like the next new age. Well, that would be when that energy had creeped back in. So towards the end of the age, it will be the infiltration. And then, it would go back into a darkness. But I don't know, because when you get up into the higher vibe, it doesn't go back into that. Like in the Pleiades, it wouldn't be like that. There would be a darkness. Like everybody, once you get to a certain level, it's just you get to stay in that joy, and that darkness it doesn't exist anymore. So we go in, and that's why you got to let go of all your darkness, because darkness doesn't exist in that higher realm. But in other cycles, that it would always be light leads to dark, dark leads to light. It would always go. Like that's where we're leaving that cycles. But if there's an old earth that stays behind that continues that cycles, then it would be, if things were going good, but supposedly everything's just going to go bad and go dark, and then it's going to fizzle out. So I don't know, but we're going to be on the soul of the earth. We're going to be on the ascension part. We're going to be on the part that's going forward, to our light bodies. But it's like we're going through the transition of realizing we are our light bodies. So, and he said, and I've heard this a bunch of times, about there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to seem like superheroes and stuff, because of their abilities, and because of this. To me, it is the beginning to understand that you are the hologram, that you're really the energy. When you can get that into your mind, you have so much more control when you understand that what matter is. So so it's, to me, it's like a transition. It's a development stage. And it is like where you start becoming superheroes and stuff. And it's because you have let go of the idea of matter and the control it has over you, letting go of the concept of flesh and blood. So it's through that development stage that leads us into that. But so the age of Aquarius, for where we're headed, is about a reality that is about love and unity and abundance. And there's no dog eat dog, because you have everything you could possibly need, but you have it because you are in sync, in harmony with the planet, with the universal consciousness of that energy. You are in harmony. So in order to be in harmony, then you're not an angle. You're going with the flow. And so it is creating the collective of that energy. So we become, and I think, I think there's going to be, our communication is going to be telepathy. Like, I've been talking telepathy my whole life. So I know that that's real. And I think that so many people are going to go towards that. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that are going to be changing. But it's all going to be through stages of development. But this is the creation of a reality. And that is why, you have to make your point of your point of destination of where it is you're headed. And you have all the signs around you where you're headed. So you have to be determined. You have to get behind the wheel, and take charge of your life. And if you want to go into the bridging across, the transition into the age of Aquarius, then you got to get behind the wheel. You got to take control of your healing, of your destination. You're headed towards love and unity. Then you got to do the work to get there. You got to learn how to love the people who drive you crazy, and then you got to realize that, like, the people who come into life to push you, that is, they're there to help you, push you in that direction, not to set you off. They're here to nudge you in the right direction. And so you just need to start realizing that the people who are there that are the most challenging to you are really the most helpful, without you being aware of that. So anyways, that's the universal energy that is leading you, giving you direction. but it's up to each soul to do the work. It's up to each soul to find that place in themselves. So anyway, Stella's on the move. So I think there was more stuff I was going to say. I can't remember though. But anyways, that's a lot to think about. And so I will leave you with that, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye.